onto Trotter's Way.
Come out that they were not the manly of men, so I think that's the reason why they hide it. But I 100% believe that these people are bisexual.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Riders Ridge.
They don't see themselves as men, they see themselves as gods. That's what the 33rd degree literally represents. It represents enlightenment, it represents reaching the level of a god. And most people will say that God is genderless, even though in Christianity, God is a man, essentially a man type of being. But in the Kabbalist way that they look at these things, they see man and woman as one. It's called the great androgyny. If I'm mispronouncing, I'm sorry. But it's alchemy in the sense where the femininity and the masculinity come together to create one being, which is a god. And that's literally what Masonry teaches. So I wouldn't be surprised if 90% of these people in the industry at the level of Jay-Z, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, all of these people at the top, if they're into this kind of thing, because I personally believe, and I've personally proven hundreds of times, that you just cannot get to that level without being a part of that club. Would you agree with that?
Turn left onto Riders Ridge.
And listen, as you're saying this, and I'm thinking about the DJ Khaled situation, that TV show, it's on BET right now. It's called One Shot.
In 400 feet, 74 Riders Ridge, Dallas, Georgia 30132. USA will be on the right.
Just because I was reunited with my birth parents. And that's not really, I mean, that is the truth, but the reason why I left, because
74 Riders Ridge, Dallas, Georgia 30132. USA is on the right.
Who else was out there? DJ Khaled was bisexual. It was like one big, gay party that was all like closeted and like weird. That's why I left, because for the exact same things that you said, like people have their own preferences, people have their own beliefs. I know a lot of people, so I know a lot of gay Christians, and then I know a lot of people like the church that my family started that would be like, there's no way that you could be a gay Christian, there's no way you could be gay and also be a Christian at the same time. And I've done projects that are supportive of LGBT, but it was all out in the open. The One Shot thing.
Now, you got issues with the industry. What's going down with the industry?
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk, it up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it. Bring it. I don't give a bring it. Bring it. They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their shit.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive. There's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my motherfucking music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, sitting at the going to dinner with them and shit like that. These motherfuckers had the nerve to tell me one time. I said, yo, why can't I have two videos playing at the same time? Oh, because we don't want your videos to compete with each other. But then I turn them up on TV. I ain't gonna say no artist names, but they got 3 videos back to back.
Exactly.
I'm like, you feeding me,
exactly.
and you sucking these all crazy, man. What's wrong with you? Yo, I had to punch one in his face up there, man. After that, I was like, I'm not going to the office no more. You only alive because of me, motherfucker. You only alive because of me.
But like, your crew is deep. I mean, I've seen you come through, man.
We got wars all over the place, but wait, you know what I'm saying? Real recognize him. And the real not gonna go through the trouble of trying to ruin it, because he know a real gonna get down just like he get down, and he don't want that headache. He rather push up on the soft. Yo, son, what's up, man? Man, hold something. I mean, start tapping his pocket like that. You spot a from a mile away and carry him just like that. You know what I mean?
We stood alone, and bloodline.
You're not gonna see me at every party, every industry party, all the clubs. I go somewhere quiet, man, shoot pool with me and my mans and them. You know what I'm saying? That's type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, once again, we're having rumors that Jay-Z plays with man booty holes, right? No, we know that. I believe we all can agree that for Diddy, we all can agree that it is a fact, with all the court and everything that was exposed, how he loved putting man cream on his nipple. Like, I don't even want to get into it, but we all can agree with Diddy that he's definitely playing with man booty, right? But when it comes on to Jay-Z, we have always heard rumors, yes, but I don't think we have got any solid proof, other than people saying that they know for a fact that Jay-Z is, playing with man booty, but we're only taking their word for it, right? But what do premium celeb think? This is what I think. I believe there are a lot of rappers and thug rappers out there that are playing with man booty. It's not a surprise. It's not just only in America, it's in many different genres of music. It's not just rap, it's not just R&B, it's in many different genres of music. And it's just the truth. And I believe that you have rappers that portray themselves to be thugs, to be gangsters, but are actually playing both ways. That is what I believe. No, I'm not saying for a fact that I know Jay-Z is playing both ways, but I would not be surprised. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say, because as I said, for Diddy, I can say that I agree that for a fact Diddy goes both ways because there was solid proof. But for Jigga Man, listen, there isn't enough solid proof for me to jump and say that he is in fact going both ways, but I definitely would not be surprised. That is all I have to say. So I want you guys to let me know what you think.
Oh.
Do you guys believe that Jay-Z is playing both ways for a fact?
Jay-Z is
Or
doing
do you
sex
guys
magic.
Are like me,
Doing sex
and you guys are
magic.
not sure. Let me know your thoughts and perspective down in the comment section.
My daughter is not someone you touch.
You hit me!
I did. Do people attend this? Well, there's usually a satanic priest. That's what's going on at the Bohemian Grove. Well, my understanding at the Bohemian Grove seems to me that it's just at its root and core, just basic Moloch worship. Satanic ritual use, there's the Black Mass, where you have to remember a lot of these people that are involved in this stuff are very well connected, and so they can dispose of stuff pretty easily. Black Mass, you had brought that up a couple of times. What is Black Mass? So a Black Mass is the inversion of the Catholic Mass. So basically what they'll do is, depending on the type of Black Mass, sometimes they'll actually just literally do a Mass, but in reverse. So they'll actually use Latin, and they'll talk, but it's spoken backwards. If they happen to have a consecrated host, they'll actually use that during the Black Mass in order to desecrate it, in the context of that, in order to empower themselves. But then they can also, the Black Mass can also be just a Catholic Mass with satanic elements as part of it. For example, one Black Mass, which is mentioned in a book called Windswept House by Malachi Martin. It's in the first two to three chapters, where a particular priest, I won't go into names, but a particular priest performs a Black Mass, but in the context of that, he desecrates a host by raping a young girl during the Mass. So you have, the goal is to desecrate the body and blood of Christ. That's their real goal. Because then in that desecration, then it empowers the demons and it empowers the people. Where would this, do people attend this, or is this a one-man show? Well, there's usually a satanic priest who performs the Mass. So in that sense, it's a one-man show. But there's always other people involved, because you'll have people whose function is to maintain control of the victim, who's going to be used for this, or other people who, like, they're servers, like in a Catholic Mass, you have different people doing different kinds of services, serving in relationship to the actual ritual. And then very often there's other people standing around who are chanting and doing other things. Is this what's going on at the Bohemian Grove? Well, my understanding at the Bohemian Grove is what, I studied it to the degree that a person can study it and have verifiable evidence of what's actually happening, but it seems to me that it's at its root and core just basic Moloch worship. Because they have the large statue of Moloch there. Okay, I want to move into elite darkness and satanic ritual abuse. Okay. What have you encountered? When I first started doing this work, the number of people that we'd see satanic ritual abuse was fairly few. You just didn't see a whole lot of it, and the caseload was from the 1980s. So that's when you saw the satanic ritual abuse occurring, was in the 1980s. And it did not tend to be, at least from what we could gather, in relationship to the elite. But then, over the course of the 18 years that we've been doing this work, we kind of went through a time period where there wasn't just a whole lot of stuff, and then it started to really crop up again, where we started to see a significant rise in satanic ritual abuse, but it was across the board. It wasn't necessarily just the elite, it was also people in high positions, because it would come out, who was the satanic ritual abuser, and sometimes they were fairly high. But now what we're seeing is it's pretty much across the board, where we're seeing it in all levels of society, of the people getting involved in it. All levels of society do. So you'll see people who are, you know, involved in satanic ritual abuse. There's actually a book called 22 Faces. It's about a woman who has dissociative identity disorder, but she was basically a victim of satanic ritual abuse. And that's a paradigmatic case because you look at it and just realize, yeah, this is how it normally works. But it basically was, to the credit of the Mormons, in fact, they found out that there was a lot of satanic ritual abuse occurring within their ranks, and they cleaned it up. Last I heard, I don't know exactly the details, but she basically, but it was the people that were doing it were people of low level of the common person you actually see on the streets. But then you'll also see it from middle tier people who are trying to advance themselves, and then as I mentioned, satanic ritual abuse is some of the stuff that they've talked about in relationship to some of the things that have been happening in the church at the higher levels. But we've also seen, I haven't dealt with these two cases too much because demons that are higher level in relationship to the civil authorities, other exorcists maybe closer to the area, have come across that type of thing more because the satanic ritual abuse stuff tends to be somewhat localized to do with experience. But this is not the
Drive southeast on Merchants Drive, Georgia 61. Then, in 500 feet, turn right onto Nathan Dean Boulevard.
because they see that is where the real power is.
Continue for a half mile.
Context of the civil authorities. Yeah, they have power, but the real spiritual power is in the context of the church.
If you become a member of One Key, which is free to sign up for, you can instantly
See,
save 10% off or more.
That's how you know that guy ain't really in love with Jesus. He's in love with the church, the Catholic Church. Okay. Hey,
Hey, what's up?
not too much. I was gonna tell you, I watched the thing where Donald Trump said he was gonna dedicate the country, but he didn't. He never said Jesus.
Oh, you never did?
He never did. He just said God. So he's talking about Satan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah.
That's what you have to watch out for. If they don't say Jesus, they're not talking about Jesus. They're talking about Satan.
Right.
Because I learned
yeah.
it from watching the celebrities. Because they always say, "I want to thank God," but they never thank Jesus because they're not allowed to say that word.
Right. Yeah, I was watching John Ramirez, an interview with what's his name? Let me look at his name. It's another guy that's really good interviewer. Get his name real quick. That guy Vlad, VLAD, he's like a super pastor overseas. SAVCHUK is really good interviewer, really good podcast. He's got 2.3 million subscribers, so he's big. Yeah, so he's with John. John has 215,000 subscribers, but together they have an interview.
Yeah.